Good morning, everyone. Yeah, thanks so much for attending today and also spending the next 15 minutes or so here. I'm David Kirk. I'm actually quite new to Aon. It's been quite a big change to me, actually. Prior to Aon, I've spent the prior part of my career launching a couple of tech startups in the people space and doing some investments into other ones. So I've finally sort of taken the step into the corporate world slightly. So definitely what we're talking about here today is something that I guess have sort of been on both sides of the fence, and there's lots of fantastic talks here about really, I guess, going to project you into the future and where you can go. So this one might almost be the boring one, where I'm going to talk a little bit more about, you know, where you are today and really how to get ready for future. No kind of hiding in when I say technological advances, I'm talking about AI mainly, which is obviously the kind of the topic of the moment. So it's kind of four main agenda areas that I thought I would cover. And really, the way I've thought about this a little bit is what are we doing at Aon? So clearly, we're here at this event today because we're a provider in this space in quite a broad capacity. But actually, as a business, we use our own software, we use our own services, we're a big client of ourselves. And when we're thinking about what's happening in the future and what we're going to deliver to our clients, we actually start with ourselves. And I'm a big advocate of that. If you can't do that yourself and get that right, then it's probably not a great idea to take that out to your clients. So kind of the four areas that I'm going to focus on is really around kind of foundations, underlying infrastructure, move into the kind of the data piece. Again, this bit on generative AI, so really about kind of, I guess, where we are with the future of AI, which is more around the production and the producing of content as opposed to just the analytics, which is almost what we've been using today. And then this bit about skills and the right people for the job. You're going to see that there's quite a common theme to the layout of my slides. So again, it might be a bit dull from that respect, but I just really wanted to make it really clear, and so hopefully there's some good takeaways. I'm also really happy to share I can email this to you or a printout if that would be useful. So this first bit is around infrastructure. That's really the backbone of artificial intelligence and being able to leverage that. And what's really important here is having that robust and flexible infrastructure capable of supporting this, not just today, but in the future as this accelerates. And one of the areas that we talk a lot about and we talk to our clients a lot about is really this API-first approach. And again, I'm sure you have lots of conversations with the different providers here today, but really it's setting you up to put you in that seamless place for the future as and when there are other developments, so you can seamlessly integrate those solutions to what you have in place. So I think a takeaway from this, from my perspective, is when you are working with technology providers or consultants, is kind of really make sure that they have an API-first approach in place, because that is what's going to put you in a really good position going forwards. And I was just having a conversation with a gentleman just before this, the bit about security and compliance, again, terribly boring. You know, it's not the UI, the UX piece, but again, it's when going to market and looking at different providers, making sure that actually what they're doing in that space is going to work for you and your organization going forward. So those are some of the things I would think about and really kind of upfront qualification. It's very easy to lead these conversations with, how will it look? What's the user interface? But really thinking forwards, what's going to put you in a good place is probably less of what it looks like, because that's now quite a leveler across technology. And also, I probably shouldn't say this, but pretty easy to do. The bit that's under the hood of it and really around the compliance, the security, and the integration is really where you want to be looking. So there's a couple of actionable next steps there to consider. The next point is on this demystifying of data. and really understanding and utilizing data is going to be critical to your success going forwards. And I think it's obviously fair to say data is the lifeblood of AI, and that's really where AI is doing its learning. We're all probably familiar until recently when you went on ChatGPT, the data set it was using was pre-2021. That's obviously changed now, but again, it just demonstrates how important it is that the data sources and the data repositories that you have at your organizations are in the right place to be able to take advantage of this. And the way I like to think about this and the way Aon's thinking about this is how are we inputting more relevant data that makes the output hyper relevant to the individual. And again, just making it really, really kind of simple to think about when we have our kind of retail shopping experiences. They've been doing this for quite a while now, but they're collecting thousands of data points. If you go and do Facebook, LinkedIn advertising for your business, you'll get hundreds of different variables that you can put in to go and seamlessly target people. And that's really what's coming to the benefits and reward and the wellness space going forward, is that capability to have agnostic data inputs on the front end so that again, that personal experience, you can drive an outcome. So at Aon, we're trialing a few of these things. I don't know if anyone's kind of worn one of these Whoops. It's always slightly alarming of telling you how little sleep and recovery you've had. But it's things like that we're looking at where really we can bring this into our platform if that's what a client's interested in, to really hyper-personalize and make the resources, the benefits in there relevant to the individuals. But again, things around the boring stuff, the data quality assurance, making sure you've got the right people in place, so the literacy around the data, understanding that is something that you need to be looking at today to get out in front of this going forwards. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Maslow kind of hierarchy of needs. When people look at that from a technology standpoint, data is that foundational piece. So making sure that you understand your data and you've got the right people in-house who are able to take advantage of that is the first step before doing anything with it. So is generative AI ready to be leveraged? I actually think that there's kind of an ethical piece to this, and there's a lot of personal opinion that comes with it, but it's no doubt it's the forefront of innovation. I saw an article in the FT the other day that said AI isn't going to take your job, but someone using AI is going to take your job. And there were some really interesting stats in there around efficiencies, productivity, how many more tasks consultants can get done. I would really recommend to anyone in this room, if you haven't looked into prompt engineering, that would be the first starting point. There's some really good courses on Coursera in particular, where you can really start to very quickly in your own day jobs actually start to see how you can use this yourself. But some things to think about is this piece around technology assessment. So kind of going back to the things we talked about before, are you ready to be doing this in your organization? Pilot programs, so something we do at Aon, we had about 50 submitted. We're working on 10 of these internally at the moment. And again, we're encouraging our employees to bring use cases to us so we can actually do things that help our business first and then take those to market afterwards. I'm sure you're all familiar kind of the story with Netflix, how kind of as they were getting momentum, they realized they needed a better algorithm. So instead of just finding one of their developers to do it, they put a £1 million prize out, and anyone who could make a better algorithm than what they had in-house, that was the prize for it. And that's how Netflix really kicked on in that space. So thinking more about how you can use your own team and your own ideas to take advantage of it as well. And then, of course, the really obvious one is like, what are you trying to get out of it? Because again, very easy to say, let's use AI, let's use generative AI, but without actually knowing what are you looking to achieve? Is it productivity? Is it efficiency? Is it improving the lives of your people? And work towards that. So in terms of the skills, probably sort of touched on a few things there, but it's obviously not just about the tech at all. It's like a lot of technology. If you don't have the right people, you don't have the strategy, it's gonna fall over pretty quickly. So you need to have that foresight of having the right people and that strategic foresight as well. So I think again, a first port of call. This is something we've done and that's ongoing at Aon is this skills assessment piece. So what does your team look like today? Who's even capable of doing that? And you can start that with actually pretty kind of easy survey around the organization, and then you can start to get a little bit more specific on what those skills are based on what you're trying to achieve. Linked to that is, again, it sounds very obvious, but having quite a targeted and intentional recruitment strategy around this. You're going to find that there's people who have got these skills who we might have not traditionally thought are the right people. And people are learning this in their own time. So there's going to be a transition. I've met some people who are very well skilled in this space, who do completely different jobs, but they have an interest in it. And so again, having an open mind to the type of recruitment you do here is going to be really, really important. Something that you are all experts at is how do you attract those people? What do you need to put in place for them to feel welcome inside your organization? So ultimately, they can add value to you. And the other bit is around this leadership point, which is your business at the top ready for this? Are you ready for it? Is it something you want to do? But there's a cultural change that's going to happen here. And again, it's the classic thing of AI is going to take jobs, whether you like it or not, it's going to arrive. And so it's making sure that as a leadership group, you're ready for that and you communicate that with the rest of your organization so that the right culture's in place to adopt it. So in terms of, in conclusion, and sort of preparing for the future, the evolution of AI is definitely going to be part of this. I think internally and externally partnering with organizations, your own peers who are trying to drive innovation in the space, innovation labs. At Aon, from a technology standpoint, that's something we offer clients, but again, I would always say anyone's invited to that. I think it's really important that the other providers in this space, so I clearly see that there's some of the other providers who operate in our space. I think it's really important for us as a group to be talking about this on an innovation level, and I think for yourselves as peers as well, that's something that you should do, so we can all kind of move forward and take advantage of it together. Really encouraging and empowering your people to bring ideas to you. Again, there is a big generation kind of point here. There's going to be people inside your organization, inside your own homes, who are probably unknowingly using AI and getting advantage from it. So really kind of pushing the boundaries there and being curious about it is really, really important. And I think that last point I made around a cultural leadership and making sure people at the top of your organization understand the importance and the opportunity is really, really crucial. So I think, in conclusion, by taking strategic actions today, you guys can really position yourselves at the right time to leverage AI in the future and really enhance your own employees' well-being. And if you're in the market for doing that to help other organizations with their employees, enhance theirs as well, and ultimately, of course, achieve your business objectives. So thank you very much for listening.